There's a strange idea sitting deep in the human mind, the belief that time is unlimited, and that real change is something far away. People talk about transformation like it's a mountain that must be climbed over many years, like life must suffer through endless struggles before one flower of success can bloom. But I'm telling you, not as a thinker, not even as a guide, but as someone who has walked this road from being unaware to becoming conscious. Real transformation isn't about how much time passes, it's about how deep your focus is. You can live for 60 years and stay the same, or you can live 6 months with full awareness and change everything. The difference isn't the calendar, the difference is you. People say 6 months is too short. They ask, how can life shift so much in that little time? But let me ask you this, how long does it take to light a lamp? Just 1 second, right? But it only lights it. The wick is dry, the oil is full, and the spark is ready. If anything is missing, you can strike matches for lifetimes and still have no flame. Life is the same. You can live for 600 months in confusion, comfort, and habits, or you can live 6 months with full focus and intention, and the light will show up. The power of being human is not a slow process. Light is not a slow burn. It is a burst ready to happen. The reason it hasn't exploded in most people is because they're sitting on their own fire, smothered in fear, laziness, doubt, and beliefs forced on them. They could fly, but they choose to crawl because crawling feels safe. Crawling is familiar. They want the prize without the risk. They want change without the hard work. They want success without giving anything up. But life doesn't work like that. You're not a broken machine needing fixing. You're a living being waiting to wake up. You're not damaged. You're just covered by thoughts that aren't yours, by goals you didn't choose, by fears you never looked at, and roles built from survival, not truth. The 6-month plan is not just about goals, it's about uncovering your real self. It's a journey from always doing more to simply being more. If I give you the most powerful tool in the world, but you have no clarity, you'll probably hurt yourself with it. Your thoughts are such a tool. Your energy, your time, all are powerful tools. But most people use them against themselves, not for themselves. Why? Because they never took 6 months to sit with their own being, not in sadness, not lost in noise, but with sharp focus and silent drive. People want quick results, not deep roots. They want results without planting effort, success without solid ground, joy without going through the process. But a meaningful life isn't something you buy, it's something you grow. If you give yourself fully, not half, not sometimes, but truly give yourself for 6 months, you will taste what freedom feels like, not the kind that comes from money or fame, but the freedom of knowing you're not trapped by old habits, old stories, or helplessness. This isn't just motivation. This isn't a speech to make you feel good for a night. This is an invite to a deep inner change. Most people think being successful means money or power or attention. I'm saying true success is this: to be so in control of your inner world that the outer world starts to follow. That strength doesn't take 20 years of books and rituals. If you can wake up tomorrow and simply do what needs to be done, no drama, no waiting, no overthinking, you are already ahead of most people in these 6 months. You won't be chasing things. You will become the kind of person that pulls everything toward you. You won't drag yourself through pain. You will rise with presence. You won't try to control your life. You'll start to align it, because alignment is the hidden key. No one talks about. You don't need to fight the world. You need to get your body, mind, emotions, and energy all moving in one direction. When that happens, the whole world starts moving with you. Think about a river. It doesn't fight the rocks. It flows with purpose. It doesn't smash through every obstacle. It carves a way through with steady movement and clear direction. You are not here to be a still pond filled with regret and waste. You are here to be a moving river. For that, you need clarity, movement, and letting go. 6 months, that's what I'm asking. 6 months of waking with purpose. 6 months of cutting out what hurts your peace. 6 months of reading, not to escape, but to grow. 6 months of moving your body, not for looks, but for life. 6 months of stillness, not feel sad, but to feel strong. 6 months of keeping your promises, even when no one sees, and you won't recognize who you used to be. You won't need cheers or a pat on the back, because your presence will be your power. Your silence will be your strategy. Your clarity will shine. People will ask what happened, and you will smile because you know you changed, not by luck, but by direction, not by hoping, but by doing, not by waiting, but by waking up. This 6-month plan isn't some program outside of you. It's already inside. I'm not giving you a method. I'm pointing you toward your real self. If you have the strength to truly meet yourself, no masks, no excuses, no more delay, then 6 months is more than enough. The real question is, are you ready? You have to know that the base of change is taking full responsibility, not the kind that feels heavy, but the kind that feels alive, the kind that makes you say, my life is mine to shape. This isn't hype. This is the purest truth. You can ever accept everything you feel. Joy or sadness, clarity or confusion, light or dark, is made within you. If you start to understand this not just as a thought, but as your lived experience, you'll stop blaming the world and start turning inward with deep respect. Most people live by reaction, not by creation. They wake up and instantly react to texts, news, noise, people's opinions. There's no gap between what happens and what they do. And in that small space, in that pause, lies their true freedom. You are not free if you always react. You're free only when your peace doesn't depend on outside things, but this freedom doesn't come from rebellion. It comes from awareness. In these 6 months, your biggest enemy isn't failure, it's distraction. People aren't lost because they're weak. They're lost because they're pulled in too many directions. Their thoughts, their emotions, their focus all going different ways. Picture 4 horses tied to one cart, running in different directions. What do you get? Chaos, confusion, and no progress. This is how most people live, not because they can't do better, but because they aren't aligned. 6 months of living with awareness can start to bring these parts together. You don't need to solve your whole life right away. Just take charge of one thing, your focus. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, your life grows. If you keep focusing on your fears, your failures, and daydreams, your life will copy that confusion. But if you focus on commitment, discipline, and clear thinking, you'll start to build a life of deep order and strength. You need to realize the outside world is not your enemy. It's only showing you what's inside you. If you're always bothered by what people say or do, if your thoughts are disturbed by opinions, if you're constantly looking for others to approve of you, then you're not living, you're performing, you're not growing, you're adjusting, and growth doesn't happen where there's fear of judgment. This 6-month change isn't about making others clap for you. It's about earning that quiet nod from your own soul, that voice that says, this is the real me. People think winning means controlling the world, but the real victory is over your own urges. Can you sit still without needing distraction? Can you talk without needing praise? Can you act without fearing the outcome? If you can even do that a little, you're more successful than most, because such a person walks through life steady, calm, and unshaken. That's true power, not controlling others, but mastering yourself. The issue is we've built our lives by copying. Since we were kids, we were told what to think, where, want, and avoid. Society didn't teach you to wake up. It trained you to fit in, and fitting in might give safety, but it won't give fulfillment. You can't copy your way to a meaningful life. You have to build it with your own hands, shape it with your awareness, and mold it with your own effort. The 6-month path isn't about building a new self. It's about letting go of the fake one who told you that you're lazy, who told you that you're not good enough, who told you change is too hard. Maybe it was parents or teachers or friends, but now those voices sound like your own. You have to know most of your self-image was passed down by others. This journey of 6 months is about letting go of that and finding your real self. It starts by doing small things with full focus. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you talk, be present. Stop multitasking through your life. This modern rush of always being busy is not a sign of strength. It's a sign of a mind that can't sit still. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is deep presence. In 6 months, if you just take 1 hour a day to be fully present, no phone, no noise, just awareness, you'll find a quiet power inside stronger than any therapy or drug. And from this silence, real action will rise. Not panic action, but meaningful action. You won't waste energy trying to impress. You won't scatter focus trying to do everything. You'll know what matters, and you'll go toward it with calm boldness and clarity. That's what these 6 months are for. To clear your vision so you stop seeing life as a fight and start seeing it as your personal path to grow. You don't need hype, you need clarity. Hype is like sugar, gives a boost, then fades fast. Clarity is like sunlight, rises slowly, but lights everything. In 6 months, you should get obsessed, not with doing more, but seeing more. If your view is sharp, even your smallest move will have power. If your view is foggy, even your biggest plans will fall apart. This journey is not about proving anything. It's about remembering who you are before the world told you otherwise. You're not made to be a slave to trend or opinions. You are full of pure potential. And if you give your whole self to this path for even 6 months, you will light a fire in you that nothing outside can ever put out. It doesn't matter how broken you feel, how lost or hurt you are. What matters is, will you take one step and then another, and then one more? The staircase of change doesn't appear first. You build it with your steps, day by day, moment by moment. Life is giving you a door, but it won't push you through. You must walk. And the amazing thing is, when you walk with full heart, you don't just change your own life, you inspire others. Start walking too. And the truth is, you never had to chase success. In fact, the chasing is why it keeps running from you. The more you keep telling the universe that something is missing from your life, the more you push it away. What you focus on as lacking, you resist. Have you ever seen a flower chasing the sun to bloom? Of course not. It stays grounded, rooted in its place, and blossoms when the time is right. You are not here to panic or wear yourself out trying so hard. You are here to find stillness so the things that truly belong in your life can come naturally. That's not some magical trick, it's real mastery. The issue is, most people have been taught to think that success is somewhere outside themselves. They imagine it as a final destination, something to be grabbed like a trophy. So they spend their lives chasing outer things, titles, looks, money, approval. But even after they gather all the things they thought would bring happiness, something feels missing. People admire them, but they feel no real connection, not even with themselves. They've built palaces on the outside, but prisons within. You need to see that success isn't a one-time event, it's a way of being. When your thoughts, feelings, energy, and actions all head in the same direction, life begins to move with you in surprising ways. The universe doesn't turn its back on alignment. Existence itself respects it. If you've ever noticed someone change the atmosphere in a room just by walking in, that's alignment in action. That's not charm, it's not luck, it's inner coherence. A person who is truly aligned becomes magnetic, not because they're trying to attract anything, but because they're no longer blocking the flow. Every day, I see people trying to fix themselves. They read, watch talks, attend programs, not to truly understand life, but to avoid it. They're chasing tricks, not the truth. But life isn't asking you to put on a show. It's asking you to truly take part. And participation means being fully here, fully awake, not because someone told you to be present, but because you realize this moment holds the key to your whole life. The 6-month path isn't a shortcut or a trendy hack. It's an invitation to stop going in circles and begin to move with meaning. Maybe you've tried before, started routines, and quit. That's okay. You didn't fail because you lacked willpower. What was missing was awareness. Awareness is the ground where transformation grows. Without it, even strong habits feel like chains. With it, discipline becomes your path to real freedom. If you know why you're doing something, you'll do it with fire in your heart. If you don't, every step will feel like a burden. So don't start with doing, start with noticing. Observe how you walk, talk, eat, breathe, react. Not to judge, just to see clearly. And the clearer you see, the less you need anyone to tell you what to do. Life speaks to those who are truly watching. But if you're asleep, you'll trip even on a smooth road. Confusion, too, is often a choice. It's a clever way the mind avoids responsibility. Saying, I don't know what to do, is usually not honest. It's a way to dodge discomfort. Because deep down, you already know. But knowing requires action, and action demands change. Change is hard, so we stay still, wrapped in a fog of excuses, waiting for clarity. But clarity isn't something that floats down from above. It rises from within when you move, even if your first steps are shaky. Imagine holding a knife and a ripe mango. Do you wait for the fruit to slice itself? No, you act. The same is true for shaping your life. Stop stalling. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect timing. There is only now, and now isn't just a moment. It's your entry point into the timeless. Step into it fully, and even the most ordinary day becomes sacred. Many people delay change, not because they aren't capable, but because they're scared. Scared of giving up their pain, scared to leave the familiar, even if it's quietly destroying them. This fear is subtle and hidden, but it rules everything. They say next week, next month, next year, but life won't wait. The clock ticks on whether you're sure or not. Every time you hesitate, you bury your own power deeper. This 6-month journey isn't about working harder, it's about working honestly. If you can spend just 1 hour a day with your real self, no masks, no lies, you'll start to see the old layers peel away. You'll notice what drains you, who takes your energy, what habits hold you back. Then, with care and honesty, you can let them go. Not with anger, but with understanding. Success won't be a prize you chase, and immortal become the feeling in your chest, the calm in your breath, the light in your eyes. Others will ask what changed, what book you read, what advice you followed. But you'll know it wasn't about adding anything. It was about letting go. You didn't gain strength. You removed weakness. You didn't gain joy. You cleared out the noise. You became a clean, open space, and in that space, life began to flow. Good things started happening not because of magic, but because you stopped blocking the good that was always meant for you. This isn't just a nice idea. It's real, but it only works if you stop playing with change and fully commit to it. Don't treat your growth like a weekend hobby. Devote yourself to it, not because you're forced to, but because you're grateful for the chance to grow. Waking up and becoming more aware is not a burden. It's the biggest gift. When your body, mind, emotions, and energy all move in the same direction, life starts moving too. This isn't a belief or a theory. It's a natural law. Call it science, call it spirituality. Either way, when you stop being scattered and focus deeply, everything changes. The universe doesn't care about your resume or your history. It listens to your presence and how aligned you are. So what is alignment? It's not about being perfect. It's not about being stiff or hiding who you are. It means all parts of you, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, are in harmony. Your thinking doesn't sabotage your dreams. Your emotions don't argue with your words. Your body isn't dragging behind while your goals are sprinting ahead. Your energy isn't getting lost in distractions all day. When you live in alignment, even if no one notices or praises you, you'll feel a deep peace, a wholeness. Most people are broken into pieces. One person in the morning, another at night. Their hopes pull one way, their habits another. Fear drags them one direction while desire tugs in the opposite. Then they wonder why they feel lost, anxious, and exhausted. But life isn't too much to handle. It's just that being divided wears you out. Living in pieces is painful. Living as one whole being, that's powerful. Look closely and you'll see your life mirrors what you focus on. Give your attention to fear and you'll become hesitation. Focus on anger and you'll become rage. Pay too much attention to gossip and noise and you'll become confused. But turn your attention toward clarity, grace, stillness, and discipline, and you'll become a calm, powerful force. Calmness isn't weakness. Calmness is strength anchored in awareness. If you give these 6 months your full focus, you won't need to chase anything. You'll become the kind of person who draws in what you used to beg for. That's the shift. You stop asking life, why won't you give me this? And start asking yourself, why haven't I become the person who's ready for this? Life isn't punishing you. It's waiting for you to grow into the version of yourself that matches your dream. There's no reward or punishment, only natural outcomes. People think freedom is doing whatever they feel like, but that's not freedom, it's chaos. True freedom is choosing what's needed and having the discipline to follow through again and again. It's not about forcing, it's about refining. You let go of what no longer belongs, not to impress others, but because it doesn't fit the person you're becoming. Be like a sculptor. A sculptor doesn't create the statue by adding clay. They remove what's extra. You must do the same. Cut away distractions, fear, laziness, the hunger for praise. Little by little, cleanly and bravely, you shape yourself into the person your future will thank you for. Not someone society claps for. Not someone who fits in. Someone who, when sitting quietly alone, feels peace that applause can't give and failure can't take away. How do you begin? Take back your attention. Today, attention is gold. Everyone wants apps, brands, the media. The world is made to pull your focus apart until you forget why you're even here. But the one who guards their attention like sacred fire, that one becomes unstoppable. Because attention shapes reality. You can't build a deep life if your mind stays in the shallow end. Your attention is the wheel that steers your life. If you hand it over, don't be shocked when you arrive in a place you didn't want to go. Taking it back isn't about fighting the world. It's a decision. You simply stop giving energy to what drains you. That's it. You don't have to battle distractions. Just stop feeding them. What you stop feeding eventually fades away. As your attention becomes steady, your energy rises. Your tired body begins to feel alive. Your breath grows deeper. Your mind quiets down. You begin to see life not as a struggle, but as a why. Open canvas, ready for the brush of your awareness. 6 months of this kind of presence is more powerful than years of chasing without purpose. Blind ambition wears you out and leads nowhere, but effort with alignment, even slow and small, transforms you. Every small act becomes meaningful. A short walk becomes a prayer. An hour of focused work becomes a message of self-respect. A few pages of reading becomes a step toward inner growth. Nothing is wasted. because everything is done with purpose. Stop waiting for the perfect blueprint. The blueprint is you. When you shift, your path shifts. When your inner world changes, so does everything else. The hardest situations begin to soften, not because the outside changed, but because you did. You stop seeing problems. You see growth. You stop seeing roadblocks. You see chances to rise. These 6 months aren't just a project. They're a sacred agreement between who you are and who you could be. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need permission. It just needs your breath, your intention, your commitment. Wake up not just to exist, but to build. Go to sleep not with regret, but with quiet pride that you showed up. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more aligned people. It doesn't need louder voices. It needs deeper presence. If you become that, even in silence, you'll become a light for others, not by preaching, but by living. So the question isn't, can I change? It's, will I? Will you step past the old stories and the fear? Will you stop making excuses and enter the fire that shapes greatness? Will you stop waiting for life to change and start shaping it yourself? You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need the perfect tools or outside approval. You need only one thing, a clear decision, not an emotional one, not a desperate one, but a grounded, steady decision that says, no more waiting, no more hiding. This is my time, and I am ready to meet I. With everything I am 6 months, that is all it takes, but only if you give yourself without reservation. This is not about becoming extraordinary. This is about becoming authentic, when you are truly yourself, not the scared version, not the fake version, not the version that pleases others, but the you that is rooted in clarity and grounded in presence. Life begins to respond. You don't need to scream to be heard. Your silence becomes magnetic. Your stillness becomes strength in these 6 months. You are not just building a new routine, you're birthing a new reality. Each day becomes a ritual. Each action, no matter how small, becomes an offering to your higher self. You begin to wash away all that made you forget who you truly are, the weight of others' opinions, the noise of old wounds, the constant tug of distractions. You release them not out of anger, but because they no longer serve you. You're never broken, you're just buried, and now with each conscious breath, you rise, you reach clear choice, you remember with each aligned step, you reclaim your throne, not a throne made of gold and power, but a throne of inner mastery, a seat of deep stillness and unshakable presence. There will be days when you want to quit, days when the old habits scream louder than your new intention, days when the world tries to pull you back into who you used to be. But that is where you grow. That is where the warrior in you is forged, not in comfort, but in the tension between who you were and who you become. If you can stand in that fire and not flinch, you will emerge with a power that no external force can give you. This plan, this path, it is not about reaching a destination. It is about becoming a different kind of traveler, one who walks through life not with fear, but with reverence, one who sees failure not as a sign to stop, but as feedback to refine, one who knows that success is not somewhere in the future, it is here in the discipline of today, the intention of this moment, the courage of this choice, and the beauty of it all. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be present. You don't have to get it all right. You just have to show up again and again with integrity, with openness, with hunger, because transformation is not about speed. It is about sincerity. If you stand again, if you lose clarity, return to silence. If you feel weak, connect with your breath. But whatever happens, do not give up on yourself. There is no force more tragic than a human being who abandons their own potential. There is no sadness greater than a soul that dimmed its light because it feared it would not be understood. But there is also no beauty more divine than someone who chooses to rise again and again until their light is undeniable. You can be that person, not in 10 years, not after everything is perfect, but now in these next 6 months, if you are willing. And once you taste this alignment, once you feel what it's like to live a day in full presence and power, you won't want to go back. You'll begin to wonder how you ever accepted anything less. The old habits will feel far. The old stories will lose their grip, because you will no longer be a victim of your past. You will become the author of your future. This very life that you are breathing in right now is not something to be survived. It is to be shaped. It is to be sculpted. It is to be danced with. And in 6 months of conscious living, you can reclaim that dance. You can turn your confusion into clarity, your fear into fuel, your wounds into wisdom, your chaos into creation. You were not born to be ordinary. You were born to be fully alive, and you don't need permission to begin. You don't need a sign. This moment is your sign. This breath, this heart beat, this fire in your belly that's whispering is your starting point. Do not let it fade. Stand up, show up every single day, not to prove anything to anyone, but to honor the gift of being alive. Life is not asking you to be the best. It is asking you to be the most true. And when you are true, you are powerful. You are powerful, you are free. So give yourself these 6 months, not for anyone else, not to chase success, but to awaken the part of you that was never lost, just waiting for your courage, waiting for your devotion, waiting for your yes. Because when you say yes, not with your mouth, but with your action, life begins to move with you, not against you. Doors you never saw begin to open, strength you never had begins to rise, peace you thought was impossible begins to settle. And one day, not too far from now, you will look back and realize you didn't just follow a 6-month success plan, you resurrected your soul. And now, as we come to the close of this journey, not the end, but the threshold, just take a breath, not a shallow one, but deep and full. If for the first time you are breathing with intention this moment right now, this breath is not ordinary. It carries within it the power of choice, the presence of awareness, and the possibility of transformation. You see, transformation is not something loud. It doesn't always roar like thunder or crackle like lightning. Often it arrives in the silence between distractions, in the small space where you finally decide to pause, to observe, and to choose differently. It arrives when you begin to say no to what weakens you and yes to what elevates you, not just once, but again and again, moment by moment, and slowly, like dawn brushing across the night sky, the light returns, not just the outer light, but the inner radiance of a soul no longer confused, no longer divided, no longer asleep. The chaos fades, the noise softens, the doubt recedes, and what remains is you, simple, clear, and complete. This is not about proving anything. This is not about conquering the world. It is about coming home to yourself, the part of you that was never broken, never small, never afraid, the part of you that was waiting patiently through all the storms of uncertainty and all the detours of fear for this moment of awareness, a return of resolution. You are not here by accident. You are here because something in you knows it is time to stop living like a shadow of your true self, time to stop postponing your power, time to stop shrinking your dreams to fit someone else's expectations. It is time to live from within, not by default, but by design, not reactively, but consciously. No, it will not be easy every day. Some days will stretch you, some days will test you, some days may break you open, but every single one of those days will shape you. 6 months may not change the whole world, but they can change your world. And when that happens, your very presence becomes a quiet revolution. You won't need to speak louder. You will simply be deeper. So walk now, not in haste, but in harmony, not with tension, but with trust. Let your days be your mantra, or let your actions be your prayer. Let your alignment be your offering to life, because when you are in alignment, everything that is truly yours will find its way to you, not because you chased it, but because you became worthy of receiving it. And if ever you feel lost again, as all human beings sometimes do, come back to this 6 months. 6 months of sacred attention, 6 months of deliberate presence, 6 months of choosing your higher self over your habitual self. That is all it takes, not a life. I'm not perfection, just willingness, willingness to rise, willingness to see, willingness to show up for your own becoming. The rest will follow. And even if you fall, you get back up. And even if you forget, you remember again. And even if you doubt, you believe again, because becoming is not about never failing, it's about never quitting. And each day you continue, each step you take is a message to the world. I am not done yet. I am still writing. I am still becoming. That is enough, that is everything, because the real change is never instant. It is built moment by moment by those who choose again and again to rise. And if that is you, then you are already on the path. You are already becoming what you were always meant to be.